Discuss. Disembodied.
Okay. Now we'll talk a little bit about places to investigate and where you can find the paranormal. You can actually find the paranormal just about anywhere. It doesn't have to be a cemetery. We'll talk about that in a minute. Usually old homes or buildings with reported activity. Older homes, things that are older, tend to have more activity. The reason being that they have more history. There's more chance that something actually happened there. Maybe someone passed away who lived there, or maybe someone lives there who had someone pass away. Any one of those is a possibility. Newer places, newer homes usually don't have a lot of activity unless someone in the home has a spirit that's attached to them, or maybe there was something there previously, another structure that has been taken away, and it's a residual, and they just don't recognize that what they used to live in was taken away. Also, places of death like hospitals, sanatoriums, and old jails. There tends to be a lot of trauma there, trauma associated with that location, a lot of really strong feelings, and that's why they have activity. This is a picture actually of the old Gonzales jail in Gonzales, Texas that we investigated, and Christina and I actually had some pretty strong feelings when we were in there. So, and we'll talk about that investigation. Before we go on to methods of investigation, I mentioned cemeteries. We do not investigate cemeteries. To us, it's pointless. And the reason that we have that philosophy is that a cemetery is where you bury a loved one. And it's not necessarily a place where they would want to go, because we feel that if you're going to remain here in spirit form, you're going to want to be in a place that you are familiar with, your old house, the house you grew up in, a place maybe where your loved ones still are. So that's why we don't investigate cemeteries. And another reason we don't is because it's kind of illegal. There are a lot of cities that have ordinances and laws against being in cemeteries after certain hours, and even a lot of them go so far as to lock it up at sundown, and they don't want you in there.
And the state of Texas has laws.
Yeah.
It's also really dangerous.
You're right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
You can trip
dangerous.
on anything.
You know, there could be sinkholes, there could be any number of
Footstones.
things. Yeah, where you could get hurt. So that's another reason that we don't do cemeteries. We do old buildings, commercial buildings. We've done several of those lately. We do residentials. We do people's homes when they call us and think that they have a problem. We don't do. Okay. Lindsay.
Alright, I'm going to talk about what we do more about these investigations. Well, first of all, before we go out on investigations, we have to do a little bit of history on the building itself, you know, when it was constructed and what events may have taken place there. Thanks, Sarah. And also we conduct interviews with the owners and people who have lived there, and talk about experiences that they have had. And we also do a tour of the building, so we get an idea of where we're going to be walking around. It's kind of like the cemetery. You don't want to be walking into something, any obstacles, like walls or anything. We usually turn on all the lights whenever we're investigating. So that's the pre-investigation tour. Observation. This consists of setting up the equipment in stationary locations with the possibility of capturing evidence. Interaction. Just taking base readings with EMF and determining unknown exchanges and levels. The guys usually do that just to see if there's any unusual readings. Different things set off the EMF detector, microwaves,
Refrigerators.
yes, or just electrical wiring in the walls. Yeah, so different things set that off. So we like to know about those things before we do an investigation. So if we're in the middle of the room and it spikes very high, we know that was something that
And if we set the K2 meter on a table and somebody's got a cell phone in a purse next to the K2,
It'll go off.
it will go off and give you a false reading.
Yes.
So that's why we always ask people to turn off their cell phones before we start an investigation, because that will cause a false reading. So there's all kinds of
Get excited for nothing.
Lots of trial and error. The next is positive interaction. And this is where we basically do a little session with, most of the time it's the digital recorders, and we'll sit in a room and ask questions and request actions such as sounds or manifestations. Sometimes we'll knock on the wall and ask it to sound back. The guys had an interesting incident in the Grand Hotel. They had some interaction with the K2. Some interesting things can happen. Also, some things with the temperature changes. Have interaction there. And the next is sort of my least favorite. You got to be pretty brave to do this. So the guys are more prone to have fun with this one. I still haven't. I don't know if the girls have either, but negative interaction and provoking. And you'll see a lot of this. I don't know if any of you guys watch Ghost Adventures. But yeah, the guys do it on the show there. They're very brave with it, but using harsh language, removing items from the room, stating or refusing to leave an area, and challenging the entity or presence. Those are kind of risky, but sometimes they can evoke a reaction from the entity. That's sometimes what we're looking for, any type of evidence.
And we've even said, okay, if you're here, if you don't want us here, hit CJ.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. Never happens.
Looking for evidence and something for CJ.
Yeah. Exactly.
And now, Christina's going to talk to you about evidence.